It's such a weird time to live, isn't it? Like people are looking around at each other like, are you one? Are you one? You know, like it's invasion of the body snatchers or something. I've had to sneeze for like 3 weeks.
Lucky you.
Yeah, I don't dare do it, not even in my sleep, folks. I was in Alaska yesterday, and it was pretty cool. I went up the gondola in Icy Strait Point, and it's a 5-minute ride. But when you are on a ship, like Jonelle and Todd, they know very well. We got a lot of cruisers here with us. I know Fran's on that. You eat a lot of different stuff on the ship. You just kind of experiment. You're having fun, and then it all gets together in your belly and creates a fragile situation. We'll say fragile. And I'm on the gondola, and I know it's 5 minutes. I'm like, you got this, bro. You got this. You can hold on for 5 minutes. You have that capability. And then we got to the 4-minute mark, and then you give your body the T minus 60, 59, and then it stopped. And we were just dangling there together. I'm like, oh no. I don't know how long. The countdown's begun, folks. There's no. So this lady from Utah, she wanted to get to know me. She's like, yeah, so where are you from? And I'm like, I don't want you to know me any better than you do on account of what might happen. I made it. Yeah, on that last cruise that I did, there was a medevac, and he's fine. He turned out great, but they whisked him away on a helicopter. Very dramatic. And I was talking to some of the locals there in Icy Strait Point, because they all have their own seaplanes there. They don't have a car. They have little planes. And he's like, they paid those guys $100,000 to take them off the thing. I'd take them off for $2,000. I'm right here. He already had a price and everything, man. It would be weird I was talking to those guys. When everybody has an airplane, there's no stoplights in the sky. They have to be all, hyper alert, and they have to look at landmarks because you don't have roads and stuff. I'd be lost all the time. I'd be landing on freeways and stuff. I have directional dyslexia, how when, people, the Islamic people, they 5 times a day, they face Mecca and bow. I would be facing all the wrong places. I'd be bowing to the wrong gods, totally end up in hell. Yeah, it rained every single day in Alaska, just like The Shining. Yeah, that's why we go. You don't go for the sunshine or the Wi-Fi. You go for the glaciers. Yeah, and I take that. It was pretty smooth. Aside from the rain, the actual sailing was smooth. When you go out of Florida, you never know when you're going to get hit. They still have hurricanes coming in. They had one not too long ago. It was called Hurricane Agatha, and it was coming in hot. And then a week later, it upgraded. It got stronger, and they ended up renaming it Ernest, I think. So even the hurricanes are transitioning. I don't know, I can't keep up. I don't know.
Good job.
I'd like to get on one of these cruises out of Europe. I think when you earn it, when you've been doing it long enough, because it seems like only the veterans get those sweet, Greece kind of tours where they go the river cruises and stuff. I did go to Amsterdam, which was cool. I went to the Anne Frank house, and that's where you go after you're married when you want to see a museum in Amsterdam. Yeah, they have museums for the single people, but they're a little more interactive there, and they're also cooped up a little bit, but okay. So I have been super stressed, and you guys are totally taking it off me right now. So thank you for that. I want to go Patty got me a massage gift certificate for Christmas. I still haven't used it. That's how it's been. But the last time I got a massage, though, I got a deep tissue massage, right? And I thought she was just going to go harder, which is what I wanted. But she came at me like she was trying to get information. like I reminded her of her ex-boyfriend and just came out with me at elbows and claws and fangs and like, Uncle. It was like this tough love Dr. Phil massage. At one point, she had me in a headlock. I'm like, no, please. She was trying to get to the myofascial stuff. And she goes, you may feel sick for a few days. I'm like, oh, bonus. Perfect. Yeah. So next week, tomorrow I'm in Palm Springs and I get to see Patty, which is going to make my day. And then I'm back out on the ocean. I did do Cabo San Lucas not too long ago, and Sammy Hagar, he has the Cabo Wabo he built there. And I was trying to explain to the younger passengers who Sammy Hagar was. I'm like, you haven't heard I can't drive 55. And they're like, why would you have to drive 55? I'm like, oh yeah. Yeah. Well, Sammy Hagar's at the age where he can't drive 55 because it's a little too dangerous. He's like, no, I want to just hang back. All right, I'm going to do one thing. I want to keep this show rolling. You have some great comedians in front of you, but I've been tinkering around on the ships with some new stuff. I'll just do one of them. How about that? A new song. Thank you. So I'm at that age where I'm starting to lose muscle mass a little bit. And you can't tell with my shirt here, but this part turning into a train wreck, folks. It's I'm getting the wrong kind of definition in the chest area, let's say. So here's me in another 5 years. Can't go to the gym or even take a swim because I have got man boobs out on the street. All the people I meet, I find her staring at my man boobs. Every day I check myself and I just have to shudder. I'm pretty sure the left one's growing faster than the other. I must get it off my chest. Forget all your troubles. You don't know the stress of having man boobs. Talking to like a man boobs. Hey buddy, my eyes are up here. All right. You guys are awesome. Thank you so much for coming out. I always introduce stuff to you first, and then I try it out on the road. But that's the first one I had to do in the opposite order because it's been a few weeks. But you guys made me feel better about the prospects for that song. All right. Well, we have a great show for you. Your next comedian is super funny. She's worked for me all over town and at the Ventura Harbor Comedy Club. She's a regular at Flappers in Burbank. Put your hands together for the very funny Suwon Weaver.
Hi, thanks. It's great to be here with you guys. This is awesome. You know what? Some people don't like a Zoom comedy, but not me. I love it. It's like, I don't have to wear pants. It's perfect. I don't know what you guys are doing, but I mean, I'm over here pretty free. Anyways. But my mom's in the next room. I moved in with my mom after my dad passed away a few years ago. She is in the next room and she says I still don't visit her enough.
So true.
Yeah, so true. Exactly. Like she criticizes me. Like it's just, it's just always like, you look terrible, tattoo everywhere. Yes, I get it. Yes, mom. It's letting me know how much better off I'd be if I'd listened to her. And she's not wrong, you guys. Anyways, yeah, living with my mom, it's directly related to whether I'm wearing makeup or not. Like in the morning, I come out, no makeup on, and then right away, so are you sick? Do you have corona? I make a soup. Which means she's got to go to the garage to get special Korean vegetables and kimchi, of course. It's not in the ground, you guys. We're very modern. We do have an ice box. But I am a lipstick lesbian over here. Whoop, whoop. But she doesn't have, that's okay. She's still waiting for me to get married to a man. So that's all right. But then, I come out and she's like, oh, daughter, much better. So beautiful. You're late for work. Take soup. This is my life, you guys. I lived in Hollywood for years. Now I'm over here in Thousand Oaks. I think I forget who said, was that Tony or something? Yeah, Thousand Oaks. Whoop whoop. Yeah, Tony, cool. And so I lived in Hollywood for years though, and I did miss it. I missed it. Like walking to my car, going through an alley. I missed getting flashed in the alleys. Sure, I'd call the cops. It would take at least 45 minutes to arrive. It's called a flash for a reason. I miss getting followed in the alleys. I mean, this is a true story. I walked to my car and I looked over my shoulder. This guy appeared out of nowhere and we made eye contact. So I ducked around the corner with my keys and I'm waiting for him. And I don't know, maybe he gave up because we made eye contact. It was too intimate. And the week I moved out of my apartment, the girl, so I parked, part of our parking spots were in the alley, and this girl that was parked next to me had all 4 of her tires stolen off of a really cool Mustang. But the robbers left her car on cinder blocks. They were so professional. Oh my God, Hollywood. I miss those alleys. They're so edgy in Hollywood. I used to hang out with drag queens. They liked me a lot because I always said yes. Like Suwon, just be like, oh, Suwon, girl, you want to go for drinks? Yes. Do you want to go to Does Your Mama Know at 3 a.m.? Yes. You want to go to church at 9 a.m.? Well, it wasn't church, you guys. I still said yes. So, yeah, I know. That's probably why I work at a church right now. I'm a Sunday. I really do. I work at a church. I'm a Sunday coordinator. I think I'm just really trying to prove that I'm a good person at this point. Right, like I rescue dogs, not just like regular dogs, like not just like a cute little Shih Tzu, but I'm talking about like deaf, missing teeth, partly blind. Yes, I rescue senior dogs. Somebody validate me. I guess I have some work to do, you guys, a little work on myself. I've done a lot of healing work on myself, though. I really have. I've worked on myself a lot. I've walked on hot coals 3 times. Yeah. It's a true story. I really have. Now I need a healer for my feet. I've gone to many different shamans and spiritual advisors, like movement shaman, breath work shaman, medicine shaman. Well, that's just drugs, but but it's with a shaman. Also, my hairdresser shaman. I mean, that's a hairdresser, but that's the important one. Don't piss that one off. And the truth is, you know what? You get 5 shamans and you win the secret. It says it on my punch card, you guys. So what's the secret? Come back next week. Well, I guess, the secret is what? Don't give up, but still that's come back next week anyways. I've had lots of different spiritual advisors. I've had so many spiritual roommates, but they don't get social cues, because they can't hear you because the spirits are so loud in their ears. I'm just tired of scraping up the hard wax off the hardwood floors, you guys. I'm tired of running out of my really good pink Himalayan salt because they have to put it in all the doorways because it stops the evil spirits, but it also attracts deer.
True.
Just saying, I don't know. You know what? I did have this one roommate and she got 12. This is the true story, you guys. This is so crazy. She got these 12 deer pelts. They were fresh. And then she had all of us, by the light of the moon, scrape this flesh and blood off the deer pelts because she wanted to make iPhone cases.
Oh.
God, it was so spiritual. So yeah, I'm done with them. Now I just want a roommate who doesn't believe in anything. How about just paying the rent on time? Can we make that a religion? Thank you. You know what? I'm not paying attention to the time. I don't know if somebody's going to tell me, but I just want
One more minute, Suwon.
Okay, great. Okay, fantastic. I didn't know where we were at. Thank you, Tony. Well, I'll tell you this. I mean, I did mention that I was a lesbian, and so I sometimes I do like the butch girls. I like security guards.
Advertisement.
I like UPS drivers. But sometimes people will be like, well, I don't get it. You're a lesbian. Why don't you like the pretty girls? Because I'm the pretty one. All right, you guys. Thanks so much. I'm Suwon Weaver. Thank you.
All right, Suwon Weaver, everybody, let her hear it. I love it. That's funny, man. Can we just pay the rent? Yeah.
Right?
You got some comments along the way there. You can check them out. Carmen, who's with Tony, she invented Fuegarita. Our beloved Carmen says they love their senior dog. We'll talk about that in the after party. And Terry Britton, she fire walked with Tony Robbins. How about that? All the way to the top. He's the original. The guy with the gigantic head. He's like the toddler head that he can barely. He just has so much wisdom, Suwon. It's hard to keep it in a normal size head.
Yeah, it's huge.
Okay. Well, very nicely done. Thank you so much, Suwon. Are you guys ready for your next comedian?
Yeah.
Excellent. Well, this gentleman has been with us before. We've had very few people for all the shows we've done. We've only had a few repeats. But I reached out to him because he's always so good, and he was good enough to step in at the last minute for Elias. This guy is a great dry bar comedy special. If you haven't seen it, he headlines at comedy clubs across the country. Put your hands together for the very funny Daniel Eachus.
How you guys doing? You look good. You lost weight. You look great. Good. I had kind of a boring day today. You ever been so bored you take another shower? Done that one. You're just like, yeah, I don't know what to do except waste the world's resources. So I'll try. I love taking showers. Some people like baths. I don't mind. I just prefer showers. You're in, you're out. No one can hear you cry. It's perfect. It's been a long week, man. I actually the other day I had to go to the dentist. I had a teeth cleaning, That's where, instead of brushing your own teeth with a toothbrush, a lady wearing rubber gloves does it with an ice pick. It's intense. They will scrape at your teeth for half an hour and then be like, "You're bleeding because you brush wrong." Like, no, I'm bleeding because I just had a Saw movie happen in my mouth. Every time I go in there, they're like, "You need to floss better." I'm like, "You need to not stab me with a tiny meat hook." Maybe that's the issue. Hey, I try to take care of my teeth. That's one of my biggest fears is losing a tooth. Because if you lose a tooth up front at my age, people just assume automatically you're an idiot. I don't know why. Don't do that with anything else. You see somebody with a missing leg, you're like, "Oh my God, I'm so sorry." You see somebody with a missing tooth, you're like, "Dang, you look dumber." Just assume it was their fault for losing it. We don't do that with anything else. You see somebody with a missing eye, you're like, "Oh, I bet he lost it in war, in combat." You see somebody with a missing tooth, you're like, "He does meth for sure." Alex did that. Right? There's no noble way to lose a tooth. Like, yeah, it's fighting terrorism, got shot in the molar. No, it's never that. It's always something stupid. It's like, "How'd you lose it?" Laffy Taffy. That's why it's so scary to me. You could say the smartest thing in the world, just like, "Thus concludes my theory on quantum physics." As long as you're missing a tooth up front, I'm like, man, all that credibility you had, you're right out through that hole. Scary. You guys are fun. It's good to see a group of people who like aren't on their phones right now. I know it's because you're looking at your phones, but not on there. So that's good. I'm addicted. I'm addicted to my phone. If a doctor came forward today and was like, "Research shows that texting causes cancer," I'd be like, "Oh my God, I need to warn some people." I was on my phone the other day. I got an Amber Alert. Yeah, I hate those things. I'm not a fan. They send you a text that a child is missing, and then they just never tell you if the child's been found. They'll be like, "Be on the lookout for a dangerous silver van," and then you just have to sleep with that forever. Never tell you if the van was caught. You just have to wait 30 years for the Netflix documentary. Is it really so hard to send a second text and be like, "Hey, we got him. You no longer have to live in fear"? I'm just saying, it'd be nice, right? Because without it, now anytime I see a silver van, I just crash right into it. I'm like, just in case. It's getting expensive. It's gonna be hot. I'm actually home right now, which is crazy. I've been on the road a lot, been traveling. I was just up in Oregon recently doing some shows. I found out when I was there, do you know they decriminalized hard drugs in Oregon? Yeah, when I found that out, I was like, there are about to be a lot more Bigfoot sightings. And I'm all for it. I like those Bigfoot shows. I think every show about Bigfoot deserves an Emmy. I do. This is a show where every week, guaranteed, nothing happens. Thousands of people watch. They never find Bigfoot. Yet every week, people are like, "But they might." It's like every show's an episode of Scooby-Doo. It's like, "Oh, big hairy creature. Wait a minute, it's just a dude in a mask." He's like, "I would have gotten away with it too if it weren't for you meddling rednecks." I found out when I was there too. They still play Smokey the Bear commercials on TV, which is I've always been sketched out by Smokey the Bear because it's like, "Yeah, Smokey, you're a bear, but you're in a Ranger's hat and a Ranger's jeans. What happened to the Ranger?" You know, something went down. Looks like you ate Pharrell. If that's not shady enough, Smokey carries a shovel around with him, like he's some sort of Italian mobster. If something happened to this forest, he's always at the fire too. He's like, I'm not saying I did it. It's at the scene of every crime. Why are we taking fire safety advice from someone named Smokey? It's like taking sobriety advice from someone named Crackpipe. He's not to be trusted.
Drop it.
Oh. A little bit more about me. I'm single by choice. With women's choice. I just wish I had the same confidence with women that I had when I was 5 years old. You know, at that age, I'd go up to any girl at Chuck E. Cheese and just be like, "You, me, the ball pit." Sister, you know, that's confidence. Now, lately, I realized I actually make a good rebound boyfriend. I'm perfect for when a girl finally decides to leave her big macho boyfriend and goes, I just need a skinny nerd who won't cheat on me. I just pop out of a bush. Like, you rang? Dating's wild. I went on a date with this girl. At the end of it, she took off her eyelashes. Yeah, that creeped me out. Can you imagine if a guy did that? It's just like, dinner was good. Anyways, his nose is fake. Actually, I went on a date recently with a girl. We went to this fancy restaurant. I had a group on. And she ordered duck. Has anyone ever had duck before?
Yeah.
Does someone want to tell me why that's a fancy, expensive food? There are literally 1,000 of them at the park right now. Living with homeless people. Duck, $38, by the way, for this duck. $38. That's an oil change, okay? That's a 2014 tank of gas, okay? There's nothing elegant about a duck, by the way. They don't sound elegant. If you've never heard one before, you'd be like, who's murdering a seal with a kazoo? I paid so much money for this. As a waiter, I don't even know how you sell duck. Like, our specials today are the New England clam chowder with fresh clams from off the coast of Massachusetts and the roast duck, which we found in a fountain. And from the crust of a sandwich is delicious. Oh. How am I doing on time? I forgot to ask if there's a light too, by the way. My bad.
You've got 3 minutes, Daniel.
Nice, okay, good. We'll keep going, man. How about that? I don't know. I don't want to complain too much about dating because I feel like guys, we used to have it way worse back. We used to joust for women. Just two guys on horses duking it out with swords for a girl. That sounds like something a drunk guy made up. Yeah, my girl. You want to fight? Fight. Let's race towards each other on horses with sticks. Like, all right, but we got to wear helmets. Safety first. Why did they wear helmets to joust? Like, oh, I'll die, but I'm not getting a concussion. It's such an insane way to show your love for somebody. It's like how Joe proposed to you. Oh, he murdered Chad. It was his best friend. It was romantic. I'm glad we have to joust today for women. I do feel like that would raise my standards though for girls. I'd be like, oh wow, she's cute. You have to joust for her. Not that cute. I'm not dying for a 4. Oh, it's just a joke, people. You heard worse things. We don't have to joust anymore. World's changed, right? We live in a different place now. We've gotten lazier, you know. Not you guys, just people in general, right? We have grocery stores. We have grocery stores that we don't even hunt for food anymore. It's like, I need steak, aisle 4, sweet, and that's it, right? There's no adventure. There's no hunt. I feel like grocery stores should at least hide the food. They just make it hard to find. That's why I like Walmart. You go in there, you're like, where's the lunch meat? It's under the bath towels. There we go. I was in front of Aaron's the other day. I went to the worst Walmart I've ever been to in my life. It was called Ross. Oh my God. Dude, Ross is the only store where if you ask for a t-shirt in a certain size, they go, did you check the ground? Every time I go in there, it's World War III. I'm like, has this place been looted?
Yeah.
It's so bad. I feel like you need your own GPS just so you can find things in the stores. Like in 3 aisles, turn right. At the coats, turn left. Chicken nuggets on the floor. Reroute. Whose baby is that? Have you guys been to Ross? Every Ross smells like the McRib is back. No, I still shop there. I know, it's cheap. I get it. It's been fun. I gotta eat dinner after this. I still haven't eaten. I did have Taco Bell today for lunch, though, not to brag. And I like Taco Bell, man. I just get tired of telling people. They always say the same thing. It's not real Mexican food. Yeah, there's a taco made out of a Dorito. I got it. Newsflash, folks, nobody thinks Taco Bell is real Mexican food. When you go into El Pollo Loco, nobody's like, hey, those chickens aren't actually crazy. It's been a lot of fun. Add me online, by the way. I think I put my social media handle at Dan Eachus, Instagram, all that stuff, whatever you're on. Yeah, man, you've been a lot of fun. I was having fun the other day after the show. I decided I would treat myself with some Taco Bell. Hashtag love your body. And I go there late at night. The only thing that's open is the drive-through line. It's a mile long. Ends up taking me 25 minutes to get through this line to the front of Taco Bell, which 25 minutes in line for Taco Bell, everyone was mad it was taking so long, but I was still feeling good. So when I got to the cashier in the front, I'd never done this before, but I was like, hey, I want to pay for the car behind me. So I did. Pay for my food, pay for their food. Yeah, I left feeling good. Hit the freeway, started eating my chalupa, and then it hit me. I did not order a chalupa. So I look in my bag and it turns out the cashier gave me both orders. Taco Bell just waited 25 minutes. Got to the front only to find out the guy in front of him stole his food. I felt bad. I thought about it. I was like, what was that cashier thinking? Like, wait, you want your food and his food? All right, I can do that. I'm hungry. I was letting him know when he gets here. Your food went that way. Fun, man. Hey, I'll be all over the place, California. I'll be up in Detroit next week. So check out my social media. I'll post where I'm going to be. Thanks so much, you guys. My name's Daniel Eachus.
All right. Daniel Eachus, everybody. Daniel Eachus. Nicely done, brother. So Tony, when I'm going to read a couple of his comments, would you share the next show thing?
I can do.
Okay. So Gary Hartman said that you're hilarious. He's one of our regulars. This is our next show, everybody. So I'm working with my hands behind my back, so I had to draw that and email it to Tony.
I lost
Wrong screen.
Oh, you're giving away all the answers to the quiz questions.
Yeah, you
This is our. That was okay. It's a professional operation. This is the next one, folks. I'm sorry that the shows are so far apart. I had on this month and next month, I only had one day that I could do it. And so that's it, Sunday, August 28th. And by the way, we absolutely love your laughter. We live for it, but it's coming in a little hot where it's hard to hear the comic. So maybe take a step back if you could to so that we can hear you, but we can also still hear the comic. And of course, Daniel was killing. Darren Biamonte said he liked your dentist bit. Patty Jenkins loves your hat. Erica said that she sold her teeth for Springsteen tickets. That's awesome, Erica. You might be a redneck if. And Esther in New York said, too funny. Tony, would you also show him the tip jar since we're here and I don't want to have to do this again?
Oh, it would be my pleasure, Jason. Here it is.
You're very good with this, Tony. I'll get by with a little help from my friends. So if you want to tip the comics, this is our tip jar, and we do appreciate that. And you're supporting the show at all. Okay, are you guys ready for your next comedian?
Yes.
All right. Well, let's get this guy up. He is in Atlanta, so he's 3 hours ahead of us. He was good enough to do the show. Really funny guy. I've worked with him a couple of times. He's one of the hottest comedians in Atlanta. Put your hands together for the very funny Cyrus Steele.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much, Jason. Thank you guys for having me. And I have to say, it's 10 o'clock here, and I'm over 40 years old. So if I fall asleep during my show, I apologize. I'm in Atlanta, so. I'm excited. I love doing virtual shows, because it really connects you with people. I can see inside your homes, your houses. Now, I will say, I see some of you are not on camera. I noticed some of you are not on camera. So I just want to do a quick PSA. If you do have irritable bowel syndrome, you can take yourself off of camera and audio. Okay, you don't have to suffer like that. Just want to put that out there. But no, a lot of comics don't like doing the virtual shows. I love doing the virtual shows, because you get to do what you love. I love doing comedy. It's a way of staying connected with people, and most importantly, nobody can slap me while I'm talking. I think that's very important due to recent events. I think that's very important. Yeah, I know you guys probably heard about that whole Chris Rock and Will Smith thing. Yeah, that was kind of crazy. I kept wondering, because they said he apologized. I was like, how did that apology go down? How did the apology go? And I bet it was on the phone. Like Will probably called Chris, was like, yo, hey Chris, yeah, it's your boy Will. You know what I'm saying? Like, woo, you know what I'm saying? I wanted to apologize if I hurt you. Yeah, I didn't mean to hurt you. Chris was on the other line, like, you didn't hurt me. It didn't hurt me. It hurt me watching Men in Black 2, Men in Black 3, Men in Black 4. Probably went something like that is all I'm saying. Yeah, it's a crazy time, though. It's a crazy time. My favorite thing is they were interviewing all these celebrities, when this happened. Yeah, my favorite celebrity that they interviewed was O.J. Simpson. Oh, there you go. Yeah. I was like, when did OJ become the moral authority on what is right and wrong with society? What's going on right now? What is going on? Yeah, and of course, they said a couple of months ago, like Dave Chappelle got tackled on stage, which I thought was kind of crazy, but Dave was prepared. Dave was ready for him. The guy came and tackled him. I would have loved to see the LAPD question him, though. That had to be fun. Like, sir, we have to ask you what your name is. Like, I'm Dave Chappelle. I'm Dave Chappelle. Yeah, baby. It's like, okay, Mr. Chappelle, can you tell us what happened? Can you give us a blow by blow? It's like, yeah, it's crazy, man. I was doing stand-up comedy, and a crazy man comes up there, straight up tackles me. Yeah. And I told him, I'm Dave Chappelle. You can't do that to me. So I had to go Wu-Tang him, and I was like, a tang. It's like, Mr. Chappelle, can you spell tang? Yeah, it probably was something like that, But it's a crazy time. Like, we don't even talk about the stuff we used to. Like, remember ISIS? What happened to ISIS? And please raise your hand if you know the answer to that question. Don't do that. Yeah, it's a crazy time. I used to have the best plan for how to get rid of terrorists. And this, if I ever run for office, this will be my platform. I think we should start letting Liam Neeson answer the phones during the hostage negotiations. Yeah, Liam's not afraid. You've seen the movies. Liam will be on the phone with ISIS like, listen to me. I don't have any money. What I do have is a certain, what's that? Yes, I can also save you 15% by switching to Geico. Yeah, I know some of you like that might not work, Cyrus, so I say we let him have Jerry Seinfeld. Yeah, I think Jerry would annoy ISIS with a bunch of questions. Jerry would be like, hey, what's going on? What's the deal with ISIS? Who are these people? Taliban, that's a scary name. Al-Qaeda, That's a scary name. Ice, basically, the word is twice. I mean, who came up with that? And if all else fails, I say, especially after the year he's had, we should just let him have Chris Rock. You know, because Chris would go off. Chris would be like, everybody's talking about Ice is gonna get me. Oh Lord, what is I gonna do? Ice is gonna get me. Hey, is it just me? Is it just me? How does ISIS sound like Ebonics? Like ISIS is gonna be good today. ISIS is gonna be good. Sounds like a line from the movie The Help. ISIS is good. ISIS is kind. ISIS is good. I think it can work. I think it can work. Yeah, but like I said, it's a lot of stuff going on. You know, Jason was talking about earlier about with the pandemic. It's a lot out there now. First they said the Delta was out there, and I'm like, that's why I fly Spirit. You know, yeah, I love Spirit Airlines. Spirit reminds me of how I grew up. No food, no space, and somebody's always getting in a fight. I love Spirit Airlines. Yeah, you know they had to duct tape somebody to their seat because they were getting out of hand. Yeah, a lot of people were like, they thought that was Spirit. I had to tell them that's Frontier. That's Frontier. And everybody knows Spirit uses Scotch tape. They cannot afford that duct tape on Spirit Airlines. Yeah. Of course, listen, you know, a lot of people give Spirit a hard time, but I love it. The only thing I don't like about Spirit is when they make you get out the plane and help push. Just me, okay. And they could do better tickets. Yeah. And by the way, they're about to merge. I don't know if you heard this. Spirit and Frontier Airlines are merging. Yeah, that sounds like a good merge to me. I can't wait to hear their slogan, Spirit and Frontier. Let's just see what happens. I think that's right there. Yeah, you thought your flight was canceled. Yeah, and I love traveling. I do love traveling. You know, I remember because I'm from Atlanta. You know, the weather just stays the same. It's always hot. And the first time I saw snow was in Denver, Colorado. And I called the police immediately. I didn't know what it was. I was like, there's some white powdery substance outside my hotel. I'm not going back. I'm not going back. You gotta be careful when you travel. You gotta be careful. But then they say what? They got the Omicron out there. Omicron, you got the Decepticons, and then Megatron. I think Optimus Prime is there. I don't know how they're naming these viruses. And then said there's an Omicron BA. I mean, this thing is a genius. How did it get a bachelor's degree? Yes. Yeah, it's all this crazy stuff. It's just crazy. I try to keep up with the rules though. Like, I don't know if you remember at the height of the pandemic, you had to wear the mask when you go out to eat. But then, like, when you sit down to eat, you can take the mask off because apparently COVID has table manners. You know, I didn't know. Yeah, then you go shopping. I don't know if you had this at your grocery stores, but like when you went shopping, they had those X's 6 feet in front of each other because apparently COVID doesn't go sideways. Trying to keep up with all the rules. Yeah, and then of course a lot of people are like, you know, I feel like the face mask is too restrictive. Yeah, especially here in Georgia, people are like, it's too restrictive. And I was like, I think the face mask is a blessing. You know, if you care about your health, the face mask can be a blessing. Care about other people's health, the face mask is a blessing. But most importantly, if you're single and ugly, face mask is a blessing. Okay? You know what I'm talking about, Bruce. Listen, I'm just saying, you know, you gotta be aware of these things, people. You gotta be aware. The only people I had a hard time with are the people who wear the face mask in your car by yourself. I just want to know, like, what do you see that we don't? Maybe the better question is, like, what is going on in your car right now? Did you fart and don't want to smell it? Like, what is going on? I just want to know. I want to know. Yeah. Crazy stuff going on. And I love going out to eat. You know, I think he was talking about shopping earlier. I love going out to eat. And I'm saying that as an introvert, you know, because, like, first of all, some of y'all extroverts can be a little too extra. Okay, you know what I'm talking about. I've had to fake my own death to get out of a conversation. Yeah. Three of my friends think I'm dead right now. No, some of y'all can be, but I do love going out to eat. You know, I will tell you, my favorite restaurant is McDonald's. Yeah. I know some of you, like, I can see why he's still dating. Listen, I love McDonald's as an introvert because they don't care. Yeah, especially here in Atlanta. You drive up there 10 o'clock at night, what's the first thing they say? Welcome to McDonald's. The ice cream machine is broke. Didn't even ask for ice cream, but thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you. A true story. I drove up there one time. The lady said over the system, she said, they just keep coming. I said, I think that's your job. I think, yeah, there's a car behind me right now. Yeah, love McDonald's. Love McDonald's. Yeah, and of course, like I love good customer service. Love good customer service. Like if I had my choice as a waiter, I'd love to have Joel Osteen as a waiter. Yeah, because I've seen his program. I think Joel would be cool because before you place your order, Joel's going to make you do it. I want you to hold up your menu and repeat after me. It is what it says it is. I'm going to order what he tells me to order. Amen. I just want to tell you a story. Love Joel Osteen. Actually, the best waiter would be Dr. Phil. I think that Dr. Phil has helped me through a lot of life issues. Okay, I would love to have Dr. Phil as my waiter. Yeah, because he's gonna tell you like it is. Be like, hey, can I look at a menu? You don't need to look at a menu. I mean, you have from here to your house. You could have Googled it. You could have looked it up. I mean, you need to get real. You know what? I just get busted. Yeah, love Dr. Phil. But no, it is a crazy time. I feel like a lot of people are going through it, but like especially the millennials. I don't know if we have any millennials on this, but first of all, I'm jealous because they have stuff we didn't have, like this thing called a safe space. I don't know if you heard about this. Yeah, safe space is when you can't criticize them, you can't hurt their feelings because it might affect their self-esteem. I'm like, where was this when I dooed it on myself in the 6th grade? Everybody around me could have used a safe space. I would have loved a safe space, especially if I was getting in trouble. Yeah, if I was getting like a spanking, my mom would be like, come get this butt whooping. It's like, no, excuse me, I need a safe space. A safe space. My mom would have shut that down in about 5 seconds. No, because my mom would have been like, baby, you came through my safe space to get here. Come get this butt whooping. Safe space. I don't understand. They got all these weird phrases too, like, it is what it is. What does that mean? And why does that never have anything to do with what I'm talking about? Yeah, you're like, hey, it's raining outside. I want you to get a raincoat or an umbrella. I'm good. Well, you don't want to get rained on. You might get sick. You might get pneumonia. It is what it is, bro. It is what it is. How's that going to help you in the rain? And then, of course, the other phrase they have is the struggle is real. Yeah, I've never seen people under 20 have so many struggles. I'm like, both your shoulders work. What are you talking about? The struggle is real. Like, when I think of the struggle, like many of you, I think of like Dr. King, Rosa Parks, R. Kelly. You know, people going through a real struggle. No, everything is a struggle to them. Like, man, I had to wait line at McDonald's today. Hashtag struggle is real. Struggle is real. My mom took my cell phone. All I have is my tablet. Hashtag struggle is real. Struggle is real. That's your struggle? Really? That's your struggle? I had a millennial for a roommate once. Had to explain the concept of rent to this millennial. I was like, hey, I'm going to pick up rent first Friday of each month. He was like, no worries, no worries. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I took that to mean that there was nothing to worry about. Yeah, because he said it twice, you know? So I came back that Friday. You would have thought we'd never had this conversation. No, because I was like, hey, I'm here to pick up rent. He was like, oh, that's today? I'm going to get it to you next Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, next week. No worries, no worries. I was like, oh, it's a lot to worry about right now. I'm not trying to get evicted. I'm not trying to get a late fee. You need to pay your bills on time. You know, they get emotional. He's like, man, you don't even know. You don't even know. I was like, I know when rent is due. I know one of us about to get kicked out right now. Yeah, I had to kick him out. Yeah, he stuck his foot in the door like, really, he's going to kick me out? I was like, hey, the struggle is real. The struggle is real. He's like, what am I supposed to do? I was like, yeah, it's what it is, bro. It is what it is. I'm trying to learn how to use it. And then they got this thing called trap music. Okay, I don't know, Bruce. I don't know if you've ever heard of trap music. You look like you listen to trap music. That's why I'm gonna call it on you, Bruce. Like this thing called trap music. It's like slowed down hip hop. They got a group called Migos with the song talking about "Mama told me not to say a word." Mama told me not to say a word. And my nephews, they tease me like, Uncle Cyrus, you know nothing about trap music. You know nothing about the trap music. And I mess with them. I was like, you know what? We invented trap music in the 80s. He's like, what are you talking about? I was like, first of all, when you used to get a spanking, I had to explain to him what a spanking was because you can't hit kids anymore. I was like, when you used to get a spanking, the first thing somebody would say to you is, what's wrong with you? And you'd be like, Mama told me not to say a word. He invented trap music. By the way, I listen to all genres. Okay, there's a country song out I don't really understand right now. A lot of ladies love this song called "Body Like a Back Road," and I just want to tell you, ladies, that is not a compliment. On a back road. Listen, if your body looks like a back road, it's not time to dance. It's time to see a dermatologist. That out there. I feel like somebody needed to hear that tonight. Yeah. And how am I doing on time, guys? How am I doing?
Yeah, one minute, Cyrus.
Wait a minute. Okay. Well, I will tell you, like, I'll leave you with this. I think they'll probably come out with a movie about this whole pandemic, and it'll probably look something like this: The Corona Movie, starring Eddie Murphy as Donkey from Shrek. Let me tell you something. I am not scared. I am not scared of no Corona. I wish Corona would come over here. I wish Corona would come over here. But like, yeah, come over here, Corona. You're going out partying, and in the morning, I'm making waffles. Also starring Kevin Hart. I swear to God, don't make me laugh. I told my wife might get the corona. She's like, Kevin, you can't get corona, Kevin, because you're too short, Kevin. Too short. I was like, if I do get corona, I'm gonna touch you first. And you'll be like, oh my gosh, I can't believe you touched me. I can't believe you touched me. A corona movie coming soon. So I'll leave you guys with that. I hope you had a few laughs tonight. I hand it back over to Mr. Love. Thank you guys so much.
All right, man. A little love for Cyrus Steele, everybody.
Yay.
Nicely done, man. The audio, it was a little bit hard to understand. You're super funny. I love everything you do with the impressions and everything else. But it was hard to. I think that there was something with the mic. But you're like a freight train, man. I wasn't about to jump in on you. when Cyrus gets going, man, there's like nothing like it. So one more round of applause for Cyrus Steele, everybody.
Hey.
Well, thank you, Tony, for jumping in with that. We were going to do it at the end, but sure, since we're here, there's our tip jar information. And we're also going to do the Fuegarita after party. So if you guys want to hang out, Cyrus, if you want to stay up even later on Atlanta time, we'd love to have you there too. And he's going to give away some Fuegarita, which we have on stock here at the Love household. Okay, are you guys ready for your final comedian?
Yeah.
All right. Well, you've been an awesome audience so far. You're in for a treat with your final comedian here. He was famously a finalist on Last Comic Standing. He is plays all around the country, an international appeal even. Put your hands together, if I can find him here, for Jim Tavare.
Come on.
Good evening.
Where are we at, Jim? Oh, there we are.
Have you got me? How's
Yes.
that?
Wow.
Yeah, thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. It's an honor. Thank you. My name is Jim. That is correct. And you can probably tell by the accent, I'm from Texas. I was victim of identity theft. This is what you get. I always wanted to do this show, so thank you very much, all the guys at Living Room Comedy. And it's an honor to be still in the job, still working after 29 years, ladies and gentlemen. 29 years at exactly the same level as before. So if I may, I would like to commence with a new joke I've been crafting for the past 29 years. In that movie, Police Academy 2. Of course, the main thing with comedy, the first rule in comedy is to look at your room and decide honestly which material would best suit your audience. So on that basis, I would now like to discuss the pH levels in soil. Gardening jokes. Gardening improve your life expectancy 20% unless you stand on the rake and the pole clutch you in the head. I do it. I keep chickens too. I've got 3 chickens for the eggs. Any more than 3 would be cruel on the balcony. And I name them individually. They've got names. They're barbecue nuggets and soup. Also, junior rooster called Extra Crispy. He's too young to crow yet. He hasn't learned to form his sentences properly yet. So every morning he shouts, "Cock!" and the neighbors think it's me. Okay. In case you think, people, I'm wearing this suit because I'm making an effort tonight, you're mistaken. Today is laundry day for me. The dryer is broken, so now I have to wear this to CrossFit. I do consider myself a gentleman. You know, I will always open the door for a lady when she's on the toilet. Like the finer things in life. Connoisseur of single malt whiskey. It takes a true expert to fully appreciate the subtle, silky smooth texture of a quality single malt with Diet Coke. Comedy and music, that's what you get from me. 2 for the price of 1. So if you don't like the jokes, you can just twerk instead. I tell you how good a musician I am, so you know you're in capable hands. I used to be a member of the New York Philharmonic Orchestra mailing list. You see that left hand? See that left hand technique?
Yeah.
Alcoholism. But you know, have you ever been for a job interview and they ask you that predictable question, what are your weaknesses? So you reply, stealing from the cash register. You find yourself sipping a cup of coffee and you hiccup at the exact same moment, resulting in the liquid circling around your head, then rocketing out of your nostrils back up with enormous force, thereupon creating the perfect cappuccino. Stop laughing, please. I've just come back from Las Vegas. I went to a friend's wedding, a bachelor party there, and we all went to a place which you've probably heard of called the Spearmint Rhino. I did what you're meant to do in this situation. I placed $100 in the lady's G-string, and she became highly offended. Now, admittedly, I used coins. The guy after me thought he'd won the jackpot. Actually, at this point, I'll let you into a secret. I'm not actually from Texas. I'm from a little village called England. And 14 years ago, I moved to Hollywood, California, in order to realize my dreams of being an Uber driver. Nice me now. It was very challenging for me when I first came. I found myself living in a cheap apartment above a 98-cent store. But one thing I learned, America rewards hard work. So now 14 years later, I live in a cheap apartment above a 99-cent store. Keep my dream alive. One day, who knows, I could end up living above Dollar Tree. Yes. You can probably tell at this point, I don't actually play the instrument.
Oh.
In fact, the only reason I have it is to keep all the jokes on. So you need a system when your memory goes, and I can recommend this to anyone here tonight. Say you have to make a presentation at work, my advice, get yourself one of these. You never need PowerPoint presentation ever again. Just make sure you wear a tux so they won't suspect anything. Here's something you don't hear much nowadays. I like big butts and I cannot lie. Everybody can't deny. You don't hear them anymore, do you? Those wonderful old school tunes that we all like to enjoy with our families, you know? Because I'm a family man.
I love big butts and I cannot lie.
Thank you, madam. What an insight that was. You see, I'm a family man. I'm just trying to say I'm a family man. I've got 2 children. I'm very proud to say they're both with me tonight. Shut up, you idiots. I'm always complaining about the oxygen level, those step kids. You know, and their favorite thing, camping. What is the point of camping? Why would you deliberately make yourself homeless and pay good money to do it? $50 for a campsite spot on the beach when you can just stay at the travel lodge for $49, so long as you book it 5 years in advance. Terms and conditions apply. But the worst thing about camping, you're just getting off to sleep and you hear this. Some idiot practicing a cello in the next tent. I understand we've got a happy couple in. Let me rephrase the question. Anyone happy? Let me rephrase the question again. Anyone married?
Yes.
Yeah.
This one is for you. That is called the Wedding March, and it's an interesting tune because if you play it backwards, you get this. And it becomes the funeral march. We all know that tune, of course, but it sounds different depending on which church you're in. So if you're in the synagogue, it may sound like this. Or if you're in the Church of Scientology, it will sound like this. And now the funeral march in the Baptist church. I'm going to lay down my burden. Finally, the funeral march in the Church of the Jehovah's Witnesses. This is the first thing I ever wrote on this instrument. It's called Memories of My First Marriage. Where the hell have you been? I screwed that one up, but it doesn't matter. I'll do a different one. This is my ex-wife on our honeymoon doing a bungee jump. This is my ex-wife doing a bungee jump 20 years later. I'm not bitter. I'm not bitter at all. He got the house and I got this piece of junk. Here's another sound. This is a beautiful 1976 Pontiac Firebird. It's a 2022 Tesla.
Amen.
Driving's just not fun anymore, is it? Well, ladies and gentlemen, you have been a tremendous room, a screen with a few people. Hang on, I've got to get this. Can you hold, please? Thank you. Please hold, your call is important to us. Please enter your 175-digit security PIN. You will now be connected to a call center in India. Wasting your time today with T-Mobile. Very much. It was a pleasure to end my career with you here, and thank all the guys.
All right. Jim Tavare, everybody, let him hear it.